Hi guys and girls, it's Pete, Mindwiseman's channel, aka Maverick Outdoors, and this is the first Sunday in October 2012 and I'm out on a trek. I've already done about 3 miles. You'll recognise some of this place I've done before. It's the Wayfarers Walk, made famous by the cartoon film Watership Down. But I'll show you where I've got to go. I've got to go down there, then I've got to go right up past those trees, so I've got to go down then back up. And I'll tell you the objective behind it in a little while and show you a few bits of my kit, but there's a specific reason why I'm actually doing this, to get ready for a potential project next weekend on the Brecons. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a little while. Okay, we're downhill now. This is the easiest bit of the 2.5–3 miles. You can see I'm perspiring, but I've sort of been beasting it. It's not sort of a casual little walk. I've tried to keep up a pace relevant to what some of my incline treadmill training I've been doing in the gym specifically for things like this. But I'm going to take a bit of a breather now as I just sort of levitate and float down this slope. You must really recognise some of this before. So I'm just coming up this slope and I've eventually got to go way over there. But as I'm going around here, that's where I just come from, right on the other side there, and I came down, up and down, up and down, come up to here. So I'm about 2/3 of where my eventual destination is going to be while I keep this pace up. I've only stopped to get this camera out, and you can see I've just kept this pace up, which is about at least 100 paces a minute, which is say not your average leisurely Sunday afternoon walk in the park, as you can see from my cherry red face and little beads of sweat. As I say, I'll give you the objective behind it in a little while, but I'm going to venture off through these sheep and up somewhere over there. Alright, that's where I'm going, up there, and just on that horizon bit, which obviously isn't the horizon because it's about a kilometre, is going all the way up here and up to the Iron Age fort, which I've done a wild camp on before a couple of years ago that I videoed. It's a lovely afternoon. It was ever so cold last night. I'd say it's you know, it kicked into autumn last night on the Saturday, so the first weekend in October. And then the sun came out sort of, I don't know, about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's sort of been like this, as you can see. I don't know if I can catch that sun, it doesn't sort of blur it. But it's a really nice atmosphere. There's a bit of a cool breeze, and a little bit of a cool breeze on the forehead really does help. But anyway, I'm going to save my talking breath and keep on this beast in march. And about time I have a sip of water in a moment. Every half hour, 40 minutes at least, 45 minutes at least. So I'm going to have a swig and then plod back on. Okay people, that's where I've come from, right over there. I don't know if you can see there's a radio mast there, where it's sort of just before that bit. As I say, right over that hill, and trees as far as you can see. But here's the Iron Age fort. But I might actually go over there. So that's where I've located before, but the Bronze Age fort, if you imagine where you can't see it, sort of goes round and then comes round this bit, sort of like an oval shape. But it's one of the highest points in this area of southern Britain, hence why it was an Iron Age fort. But there's also been other sort of tribal history up here over the millennia and dullens of years. But if I had the time, I'd have gone down there where you can't actually see, then back up, right up over there. But I haven't got time, so I'm just going to go down this slope. But just to sort of condition my legs, I'm going to go down a bit further. Go down the slope, come back up and then take a break. And have a chin wag with you then. Right, you can see a little bit clearer. This is really sort of great sort of conditioning grounds that are conditioning as in physical conditioning. You know, it's great to have all the kit and all the knowledge, but you know, we need to look after ourselves physically and mentally, so that if the stuff hits the fan, you don't just have to get your sharpest blade out that can slice nicely a piece of paper, razor sharp, he says, wiping the brow. But you know, it's important to keep physically conditioned. Yeah, just general fitness, but obviously I'm coming from that angle anyway, because that's part of my past profession, 15 years as a personal trainer and all things linked in with that. But as I've said I think over the past 6-12 months, that I'll put up some things about, you know, what I think that will help people just get an idea of hydration and the best times to drink and the type of foods to eat at certain times when you're actually exerting yourself. But in layman's terms, it's quite a complex subject, but I'll try and portray it over the coming months in layman's terms, and it'll make all the difference between, you know, you might be fit and I'll go all day, yeah, I don't need to have a drink, I've sort of beasted it over a hill. But the thing is, I'll leave it to another time, but once you let yourself get dehydrated rather, and thirst kicks in, then it can take on average up to 8 to 12 hours to get your blood sugars back into the muscles. So once actually thirst kicks in, your potential to keep physically active reduces by up to 30%, and takes 12 hours to get back to where you would have been if you'd have kept hydrated. So whatever you do, first point, okay, first little bit of advice before I go into any separate videos, is breathe calmly so you don't stay stressed, and always keep thirst at bay. Simple as that. That's the first rule of thumb. Anyway, I'll let you have a look at the views. That if I'd have started off this morning, I'd have gone right down there. Right, so in a little while I'll catch you when I'm actually back on the Iron Age fort and having a bit of refreshment, and just show you a few bits of my kit. I'm just about to finish the last little bit of this hike around the edge of the Iron Age fort without disturbing the sheep, and going to one of my favourite spots, I say, that a lot of you will recognise from where I did a wild camp a couple of years ago, and where I've come up here a few times to have a chin wag with you guys. Anyway, it's just near that little tree over there. Okay guys and girls, I just found my little perch. Yeah, so the basis behind me coming out today is I've got a colleague and associate that I used to work with when I started as a personal trainer and physical exercise and teaching and coaching well-being and fitness and health subjects in the early 90s and mid-90s, and we still keep in contact. And he's off out to the Brecons next weekend, and he's asked me to go with him, as he's taking 2 lads who are training in the military, but let's just say they're special forces, and they're going through their selection and assessment, and he wants me to sort of go with him. But it'll be a bit of a beast in, you know, it's not just a casual sort of pitch up a basher in the woods and pick up the vibes. Yeah, it's going to be good, but obviously these, especially one of the 2 guys that he's taking out, is up for selection for a particular military establishment. So yeah, I haven't done that sort of type of thing for a little while. If I do it, the odds on it will be that I'll do it. I want to, but it depends on other circumstances. By the way, you can see I've got a bit togged up now. Actually, there's a little bit of breeze kicking up, which is sort of around here, but I'm just in a nice area where it's not too cold. But anyway, so it's like instant change, sort of abracadabra. I've now got my I've now got sort of more thermal togged up. Anyway, back to the point. I want to go, but it depends on circumstances. So if I do, we're going to meet up on late Friday night, so it's going to be a night drive, and then pitching up in Forest, bashering up overnight, and then starting off on the Saturday morning to trek around the Brecon Beacons. I think it's Pen Far and Pen Fan, but south of more of the southern hills and slopes of Pen Fan. So I want to do it, so I need to sort of get my conditioning up a little bit, so hence that's why I'm doing this. So I thought I'd share it with you. I was actually going to start out actually just doing a one-shot take video of going, hi everybody, I'm just out for a walk, just tell you why, and I'll show you some kit. But you know what it's like, you sort of think, oh, I want to share it with my subbies. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. But say, a lot of you will recognise this area. As I say, I came from right over there, so you recognise that. But it is a really lovely Sunday late afternoon. It's coming up to 5 PM. My rucksack that I brought, 2 side pouches, more a knife just in case, small little head torch in there, and then just down this side pouch is my normal main first aid kit in there. There's a top pouch here which has got my sort of wallet, phone and other things that I don't need to get access to, so I can always keep it zipped up at the back. And then seat mat, seen that before when I did the campfire cooking with my son. I didn't really need to bring all this stuff, but I wanted it to simulate a little bit some of the kit that I'm going to be taking if I go next weekend. So I'll just show you. I've got a corned beef pasty in there and some biscuits, hot tea in there in my half-litre flask, which I now use quite a lot as a really good chunk of drink in there. My poncho, and also I can make that into a shelter. And then this is about, as you can see, it's a fluorescent sheet. It's waterproof as well, as you can see in there. So, you know, if I've got some charcoal on, I need to write something on it and peg it out. I've got a white surface that I can write something on, or the red surface as well, so they're easily seeable. It's about 1.5 meters square. So that's sort of my just emergency flag if I did need it. Litre of water. This is my survival bag. It's about 8 foot long. And actually it's a US Army, dare I say it, a bit morbid, body bag. It's, I think, grade 2 issue, so it's not been used many times. No, it's not. It's brand new. I got 2 of these for about, I think it's about a £5, but they're really sort of quite heavy duty. As I say, it's about 8 foot long by about 1 metre wide. And you can sort of make it into, if you've got bits of kit, you can either put a stick under it and sort of have an apex type of A-frame type shape. But it's really nice and long. It's bigger than your normal sort of survival bags that have got survival written all over it, and I know the survival bags tend to be a brighter colour, but you know, if I was in a circumstance where the excrement hit the fan and I was in a dilemma, then I could still be under this waterproof, well covered up with any bits of kit, as I say, because it's 8 foot long, and then somewhere drape this over it. So you know, I'd be easily seen. Bit of real cheapo paracord. It's more utility cord. It hasn't got the 7 strands inside it. I know it's got about £200 breaking strain, and then the sort of like little thermal sheet as well. So as I say, sit down on that. Oh, that's nice and comfy. Really nice and comfy. Oh, there's some birds over there. Hang on a minute. I'll see if I can film them. I don't know what they are, but they're all flying, sort of flying around in a circle just around there. Obviously they're going, here, that bloke, that Maverick outdoors, that loony that comes up here regular, walking in the freezing cold, the rain, sunny days, any time of the year he's always up here, he's trying to film us. So let's keep our heads down. Yeah, he's still pointing the camera at us. Yeah, I know, quick. Yeah, quick, don't let him film us. Wait till he turns the camera away and then we'll fly right over his head in a circle. Sorry guys, I got a bit carried away with that little montage. But yeah, I've seen a kite, I think it was, no, a buzzard rather, a couple of buzzards up here. But yeah, it's nice, as I say, there's just a freshness in the air. But I thought I'd just show you some of the kit. As I say, I would have normally brought up here, I think the last time I was up here was actually the end of last year, 2011, when I did just a brief video in exactly the same spot about sort of getting my fitness up for the trek, the wild camp I was hoping to do on Brecon Beacons for New Year's Eve, but actually it was New Year's Day that I actually did the trek up there. So if you've not seen that, go through the channel and you'll see it's in 2 parts where I explain about the kit. Actually it was this bag with some of the stuff that I took, and then part 2 was the route that I took to trek over New Year's Day to see 2012 in. So as I say, this time next week I might be up there again, or so I say next weekend. So I just wanted to sort of simulate a little bit. Obviously I'll have more kit with me if I do it next weekend. Then birds are flying up again. Quick, he's filming himself. Quick, let's fly around and have fun. Blimey. They're all, I don't know if you, I'm not close enough, but they're all following each other. Don't take much to make me happy and pleased in the great outdoors, as you can witness. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so it's just obviously I'm going to have my sleep kit and my basha and what have you. Maybe not as much stuff as I took last weekend when I went out with armoured cockroach, animal tendencies and funky prepper, so I won't be taking out as much kit, but I'll use a 100-litre bag, I think, with just enough stuff, as it's sort of a bit of a, not so much a leisurely chilling out and, you know, chewing the cud around a campfire, but it's more of sort of getting out, a little bit of outdoors vibes, but mainly for the objective of my friend and me taking his two guys out, his 2 trainees. So yeah, it's a nice vibe. So I always like this place, not just because of the history of it, but yeah, it's one of my favourite places along this trail. But I was actually about to say, with the last time I was actually up here and I filmed talking about getting ready for the Brecon trek, I just had my large waist bag, sort of response pack. It's based on what is known as the response pack, but it's a large pouch which you can put EDC in and sort of bits and pieces. But I thought I'd sort of partially simulate what I might be expecting to do next week by actually having a small rucksack and just bringing a few extra things that I'll be taking with me if I potentially do it next weekend anyway. So I've got a nice sweet hot cup of tea in there, so it's a good ½ litre. This was originally silver and I wrapped some camo tape around it because I didn't want it reflective. So yeah, that's all well and good. And then my little sealed box, so the things don't get all squashed up in the rucksack. Some biscuits and a pasty, so I'm going to have some a little bit of a snacky scoff. And be careful I don't fall victim to squashing any bits and pieces or myself in some sheep's doodahs. Doodahs? Dung. What's brown and sounds like a bell? Or should I say, what's brown, smells and sounds like a bell? Dung. Okay, so I'm going to tuck in now. But this is the view behind me, so you've seen it before. And that's the west of England direction. As you can see, the sun's going to come setting down. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now and use my mouth to have something to eat. What I will show you is this little sort of tag loop device from last weekend that I got from Mick of Animal Tendencies, so you can see his little logo there. That sort of clips, as you can see, right, but I won't take it right off because I'm... Okay guys and girls, at this particular point my camera ran out of battery because I wasn't expecting to film as much that afternoon. So what I did, I sparked up the video on my mobile phone and continued to film the description. As you can see there, it's already clipped on and it came with the little torch, whistle, fire steel and striker, and then of course I put my 2 lots of keys on there on the key ring. But what I did, I actually unclipped it, and then the loop that was left, as you can see me holding with the finger and thumb there, I Prusik looped that loop around the loop of my trousers, then clipped all the bits back on again via the black clip, and then was able to hang all the stuff inside my pocket so it didn't all rattle around. So I christened that little bit of kit on that afternoon's trek. As always everyone, thanks for watching, really appreciate it. So be safe out there, outdoors it, and I'll catch up with you in another video soon. Cheers.